Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming back and looking at the videos. Please, if you can, like, subscribe, share, and comment on these videos. I look at all the comments, and I would happily either make videos based on your comments, or if there's things you like or don't like, please put them in the comments and we can make some adjustments. So I'm joined by a very special guest. Natalie is here, and we're going to be talking a little bit about marriage and family and kids and that kind of stuff. But Natalie, thanks for being here this afternoon.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
So I am married to my wonderful husband, Connor. We've been married this June, it will be 3 years.
Wow.
And we have one beautiful daughter who's a year and a half now. Great. Well, a year and 7 months. She just turned a year and 7 months. And actually, we have a second child on the way.
No! That's awesome. You have heard it here first.
Yeah.
Does anybody else know be outside of this right now?
Like a small number of people.
Well, now another 15.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I waited until we were live.
That was awesome.
Get your reaction recorded.
That's great.
I'm 7 weeks and 2 days pregnant.
Wow.
So it's still pretty new, but praise God. Yeah, we're very excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's your due date currently?
December 9th.
Okay.
Yeah, which
Good
is
due
this
date.
Year is the Feast of the Immaculate Conception.
Because it's on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
that could be cool.
Yeah.
So would it be a little Immaculata if it was a girl, or?
Maybe, I don't know. We haven't talked about names at all yet. So
if it's a boy, Robert Anthony is an excellent name.
Yeah, well, actually, we saw our high school physics teacher, and we became close friends in our high school physics class, and we saw him 2 weekends ago, and he said if it was a boy, well, we didn't tell him about the baby, but he said our first boy child we had to name after him. So Ryan is first, Robert can be second.
Okay, well, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I just think Robert Anthony is a great. Girls named Roberta Antonia would not be bad either.
Yeah.
No, but that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you
That's
very
awesome.
much.
And you are currently teaching.
I'm teaching.
And what do you teach?
I teach French
Okay.
at an old boys school.
Okay.
So I'm teaching like 12 to 17, 18-year-old boys.
And you love to teach.
I do. I love to teach, and I love my school as well. It is just very exciting to be there and to interact with them and to help them to learn and grow. And like a lot of them don't super care about what I'm teaching because it's French. Like no teenage boy really loves French.
No.
But it is just really exciting to kind of lead them like upward in knowledge and upward in the faith because it's a Catholic school. And it's really exciting to be able to bring that part into my teaching. Sure. Even if it's not like outward, it's always present.
Yeah.
But I'm retiring in 23 days to be a stay-at-home mom.
Not that you're counting,
yeah, I'm not
right?
counting at all.
That's great.
Yeah, so.
Well, and the timing is good then because you're expecting number 2, which is awesome.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up, did you want to be a wife, a mom, or was that just something you just weren't sure? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely knew I wanted to get married and have kids. I didn't expect to want to be a stay-at-home mom.
Really?
No. I just kind of always thought I'd be bored. Because I'm really... Oh, this is going to sound really, really not humble at all. I'm pretty smart. And
No, you are. That's fair.
Thank you. I like to be like intellectually challenged and I like to think about things. And like I actually moved to New Jersey because I started a PhD program at Rutgers. So I was there and my intention was always like get my PhD, go into research, teach at a small like Catholic college. And then when Connor and I got engaged in 2020, we knew we were having a short engagement. We had a 5.5-month engagement. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm dropping out of college. I'm dropping out of my PhD program. I was going to finish with my master's that spring. So I decided to just end with my master's and apply to teaching jobs, which I did. And I anticipated just teaching. And I was like, this is great. I'll have summers off. The teaching job at the school I'm at is really like they're family oriented. We have a ton of breaks, so I was like always super happy. Like we can get a nanny, and this will be like enough. Like I'll have enough when I have kids. I'll have enough time, and I just like every day leaving her was so hard. Yeah, I would go to work, and I love my job, and the boys are so fun to be around. Yeah. And they're very, very smart too. So it's just exciting being there. But I would just be sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm missing a part of me. And like now that she's talking and walking, like every single day I leave, she just like searches the house and goes, Mama,
Yeah.
Mama. And I just like, it breaks my heart. So in the fall, we had a nanny quit and we were really struggling to find childcare for like months, like 2 months. We were like living just entirely on like prayers. Like it was like day to day. We'd be like, we don't have someone for tomorrow. Like, dear God, provide someone for us tomorrow. And we went to like a church event and like there was like a random college student there that like was like, Bernadette's super cute. And we were like, great, do you want a nanny?
Yeah.
And they did. And that happened multiple times.
Wow.
So we were very blessed with just like finding childcare day to day. But that was kind of just for me, like, this isn't a forever solution. We know we want more kids like soon. And I don't want to send my kids to daycare because I just don't feel like it's the right decision for us.
Right.
So I decided, like in December, my headmaster sends out an email that's like, hey everyone, let me know your plans for next year by January 8th. And on January 8th, which was the first day back after Christmas, I walked into his office and I cried and I was like, this is it. I'm so sorry. I love this job, but I have to be at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, and you know, it's interesting. It's funny. You said you would have been bored, and I was thinking more from a, like, you wouldn't know what to do in your day. It sounds more like you thought you would be bored from like an intellectual challenge, right? Which can be similar, but a different thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think about my mom as a stay-at-home mom until I was about 8. I had 2 older sisters. She wasn't bored.
Yeah.
She was busy. She did all kinds of stuff and, you know, whatever. But I do find it, you know, I think it's interesting how it seems like things shifted, especially once you had her.
Yeah.
You know, where before that you could have been like, oh, no big deal, we can do this.
Yeah.
But then you're kind of seeing that impact.
Yeah.
Right? And even though you love your students and you would be there, but there are other teachers, there's not another mom for Bernadette.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward now to being home after a couple, you know, after 23 days. Connor feels along the same way.
Yeah.
Did he, what was his experience when you were going off to work and, you know, Bernadette, you know, was with other people and like, what was he thinking in that whole thing?
So he was like basically taking care of her in the mornings as I was getting ready if she woke up before I left. And then he would pass her off to whatever nanny we had at 8 a.m. And then the nanny would take care of her from 8 to noon.
Right.
And then at noon, the nanny would leave, Bernadette would be down for a nap, and I would arrive home at like 2, 2:45, 3.
Okay.
But he knew where my heart was.
Right.
And he knew, like 100% supported me in this decision, but he also knew that I needed to come to it on my own because I wouldn't be happy if he was like, hey, let's quit. Like, you should stay home.
Right.
Like, this was something I needed to make up my own mind about. And once I did, he was like, great, wonderful. Like, you're going to be a wonderful stay-at-home mom. Like, I'm so excited for you.
He wasn't going to push you, but he was 100% supportive in that role.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because when Karen, we had 2 kids,
Yeah.
little Michaela at that point.
Yeah.
Karen was working at St. Peter's Hospital, but just per diem. So she gets, I guess Michaela's maybe 2. She gets a call. Oh, she has to work Thanksgiving. Well, she calls me at work and she goes, Rob, I don't want to work Thanksgiving. Like, these are my kids, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, quit. She goes, what? I said, quit. I can do that? Yeah. We'll figure it out. Because that's what it is. You get these moments with the kids, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know whether I already said it, but, you know, there are other teachers out there for French.
Yeah.
But there's only one mom for Bernadette.
Yeah.
You know?
And she's only going to be little for so long.
I know. And she's not quite 2 yet, right?
No, she'll be 2 in September.
Okay. Because my favorite ages with kids were 2 to 5.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else on earth says the exact opposite.
What do they say?
Well, because everyone calls it like the terrible 2s.
Oh, no.
And
No. You know what it is? People say that, but it's also, that's where, you know, in my opinion, boundaries have to start getting set and things like that. Again, carefully.
Yeah.
But no, I think 2 to 5 is the best because the kids are starting to talk.
Yeah.
They're starting to put sentences together. They're starting and they think they're adults.
Yeah.
So when they start talking or they start doing things, you look at them and go, "You're 4, but you sounded like you were 40."
Yeah.
You know. So no, and I think that'll be fun for you to be you to be home with them.
Yeah.
So and now you're at child number 2 coming up.
Yeah.
You want to have more than this? Do you think?
Probably. I think 4 is a good number.
4 is a very.
I was
good
one
number.
of 4 as
Were you?
well. I was the third of 4.
Okay.
All girls.
Okay.
Winston Churchill actually said that 4 was the perfect number of children to have.
Okay.
It is 1 to replace you, 1 to replace her, 1 to grow the population, and 1 in case anything happens to the other 3. So I think he's right. I like 4, but I don't want an odd number because I'm scared of the middle child being left out.
Okay.
So if I had a 5th, I'd have to have a 6th.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that's an interesting thing. You need some boys in your house, though, because if you grew up with girls.
Yeah.
Now, Connor has a brother, is that correct?
Connor has 1 brother.
1 brother. So
Yeah.
at least he had a boy, but he didn't have any sisters.
Yeah.
And and you had sisters, but no
Yeah,
brothers.
yeah.
So if you had that mix.
Yeah.
Because it's very different.
Yeah.
I mean, do you see her just like being a little girly girl?
Yeah.
Is she a little bit of a tomboy too? Or like.
No, she's very girly.
Yeah.
She imitates like everything that I do, and she's very, very girly. She's very adventurous as well.
Okay.
But she like has these stuffed animals that every stuffed animal she calls Lulu. So she carries all of them around at the same time. She'll like hold all of them.
Okay.
She, like,
and they're
treats them
all
like
named
babies.
Lulu.
All of them are named Lulu.
Well, that's a convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she carries them around, and she's very interested in like me being pregnant now. She
Oh, wow.
will like point to my stomach and will say babies. I'm
Right.
like, please, just 1 baby, not 2 yet. So she's very interested in that. And in the beginning, she was also doing it to Connor as well. And we're like,
Right.
no.
Right.
There's no
Can't
baby
quite
in there.
figure that out,
There's
yeah.
no baby in there. But now she just doesn't mean she kisses my belly, and she loves seeing babies and seeing pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, she's very aware, even at only like 1.5, like, this is a baby, like, this is a small human. Every time, grocery store or shopping mall or like anytime in church, she sees a baby. Even kids that are older than her, she's like, go baby.
Wow. Yeah.
She's just very interested in
That's
babies.
funny.
It's
Yeah.
really sweet.
Yeah, but so she's already kind of like leaning that way.
Yeah.
So hopefully she's going to be like the good big sister.
Oh, yeah.
You'll give those talks of like, you're going to be the big sister and mommy's helper,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What's Connor's relationship like with her? Because if she's kind of following you around and doing,
Yeah.
what's his relationship like?
It's very playful. Like,
Yeah.
it is so sweet. And he also lays down more of the rules than I do. I am not great at like saying no cookies before dinner. He is the one that's like, no, you have to eat your vegetables.
Right.
'Cause if it were up to me, I'm the softie. I would be the one feeding her cookies for every meal because
Right.
it makes her so happy.
Right.
But he's very playful with her, and he's always chasing her around and picking her up and tossing her around.
Yeah.
And like, it's really sweet. Well,
Yeah.
especially right now, I'm like so exhausted every single day. So it's really good to have somebody help her get
Right.
some exercise.
Well, he's picking up a little bit of the slack at this point. Yeah.
Because the first trimester is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember Karen had a couple of rough ones, right?
Yeah.
But why I'm asking is because I know, it's funny because Karen and I had different styles about just about everything,
Yeah.
right? Between finances and discipline and rules. But that was the one thing that we both generally started to agree on, even if initially we maybe had different views. When you see, like the kids will tell you, if you ever ask Michaela about cleaning up in the living room, they always had to clean up their toys.
Yeah.
Like that was it. And like, no, you can't leave them out. And they would say, oh, well, there's so much. And Karen's response was, well, you better get started. And then if there was not a lot, she goes, well, it won't take you long then. She always had an answer,
Yeah.
But and I asked too, because I had the 3 boys and Michaela. My relationship with Michaela was definitely different than my relationship with my boys.
Yeah.
And each relationship with each of them is different.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting that, because Michaela and I, we'll get together, we'll just laugh about the same stupid things, and we do. But it's interesting, that relationship that we have. So that's why I was asking about Connor and her, to see. Do you think, this is going to sound like a funny statement, you have 1. Do you think it's going to be hard in that you're going to have 2 and you feel like, well, I already love 1 with all this? Do you feel like that's going to be difficult?
Yeah, I mean, I just love Bernadette so much that I know I will love my baby,
Right.
my next baby, just as much. But it's just like hard to imagine, like, and I'm a little nervous, like, with the tension, like, especially in the beginning. I know I'm gonna
What tension?
attention.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
attention. Okay.
I'm just nervous, like, in the beginning, what will it be like if I have to give all my attention, like, nursing my new baby or like changing diapers constantly.
Right.
Like I don't want Bernadette to feel left out.
Right.
But Connor's job is actually really generous, and he gets 4 months of paternity leave.
I'm going to go work for Connor's job.
I know. Which is just such...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very generous. So I'm very glad that we'll get 4 months of just us being all together.
And to start establishing a little bit of those patterns,
Yeah.
to realize if she wants mommy, because the thing is, it's going to be common for a little kid to get jealous.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to getting all of that attention, right?
Yeah.
Especially with 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Once 3 comes along, it's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? It's not that the tension isn't the same.
Yeah.
Because it was, Matthew, and well, Matthew didn't care so much. I think he was excited to have Michaela.
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah.
But it's typical for the number one to feel, well, I had all this and now I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
It was actually funny too because we have 4, and we joke. We said Joshua, who's the youngest, had 5 parents. Because everybody told him what to do.
Yeah.
And there were times we never even had a parent. And we would go to say something, and somebody else would tell him what to do. We were like,
Yeah.
could you let us parent, please? But
Yeah.
like they were all bossy, and they were all like totally into it,
Yeah.
No, but I think that's great. And so what do you think at this point? I mean, again, you're younger than me. You have a baby. I have 4 adult children. What do you think are some of the challenges you're seeing with just being a parent? Like, are there things that really hard to do, or are there things that I could do better? Like, what do you see as some of the struggles?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, for me right now, it's really hard to see her cry because, pretty much anytime we tell her no, even if it's something crazy, you can't eat 10 cookies, she gets upset.
Okay.
She'll cry instantly, and it's hard for me to say no to that. Because I have 4 nieces and a nephew, so I was used to kids.
Right.
But I was used to kind of being the cool one, the cool aunt that
you could be
I didn't care if I gave them 10
the permissive one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you can't be.
So now I can't be, and that was a weird change for me. So I certainly think that and establishing boundaries in that will be hard.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to she's not great with understanding physical touch yet. Obviously, she's 1.5, but she does she'll hit me on the head sometimes. Just trying to touch me, but doesn't understand this force is harder than this and you shouldn't touch like that. Right. And that is it's hard to figure out how to correct her because she's so young. Yeah. She doesn't really understand.
Right.
And sometimes it's easy to lose patience because I'm I've told you this 10 times, why don't you get it? But also, you're a baby,
right.
Where do I find that balance and, how do I go about doing that in the age-appropriate way?
Right. Think about how God thinks of us, I got it, I screwed up again, and, He's like, I told you 27 times. But that's it, right? And I think the thing that we one of the things that was helpful for us that you kind of find out along the way is also what we model to do, how we're expressing ourselves, or our kids never saw either me or Karen, let's say, hit each other.
Yeah.
So it was easy if one of them got, guys, no. If it's more gentle or, whatever it is. But it's kind of that, displaying that. And that's it. She's already picking up things from you. Yeah. And from Connor, how to do certain things.
Yeah. And it's crazy how smart she is so far because cleaning up we don't have an issue with because we're all right, time to clean up your toys, and she puts them back by herself.
As she's putting toys away and she counts, does she count in French as she puts her toys away?
She doesn't count.
Oh, she doesn't count yet. Okay. Will she count in French?
I'm trying. It's very hard to teach her French with Connor knows a little bit.
Okay.
It's very, very hard. So I'm trying to teach her. I think once I'm at home all the time, it'll be easier because there'll be more time. And it won't be I just spoke French for 6 hours to boys who didn't care. I don't want to speak French to you for 4 more.
And you can also blend things in, too, to make it so that it's kind of a natural way that you could already picked it up. No, it's amazing. It's funny because everybody will say, oh, my kid's so smart. I know how arrogant it is. Kids are smart.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And we see, of course, they're kids, so they have no experience, but they're a lot smarter than we give them, and they pay attention to everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely everything that goes on, right? And so you see that because you'll go and maybe, at least when the kids get a little older, you go and say something at some point, and then they repeat it, and you go, oh, crap.
Yeah. She, the craziest thing is I have no idea how she picks this up because we don't talk on the phone that often, right? We're living in the 21st century. I text my mom.
You text, of course.
But she picks up like any object, like a water bottle or like a remote for something, or like just anything that's like kind of long and flat, and will put it up to her ear and go, hello, all the time. It is her favorite thing to do. All the time.
But yeah, you're probably not on the phone
We're
that
not. And
much.
she saw it once and she does it like 5 or 6 times a day. It's so funny.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Well, I think the funny thing I was thinking about this at one point. When I was growing up, what you can use for a phone would be a banana because it was the right shape.
Yeah.
Now a Pop-Tart is actually the better shape for a phone. But for her, anything. But that is funny.
Yeah.
What else does she, like, what's her things that she plays with? Babies, animals, like, that kind of stuff. Are there things that she gravitates towards?
She really likes stuffed animals. She calls them all Lulu, like I said. We have a cat, and she's obsessed with the cat, but the cat hates her. But she chases it around, and she calls it tack. Like, she says
right,
backwards.
Tack. Yeah.
She goes tack, tack.
Okay.
And chases it around. She likes animals a lot. Like, we really want to take her to the zoo this
year.
Because I think she knows animal noises. She's just starting to get them. For a while, she was just saying moo for everything. Right. But now she's starting to get meow. And
so everything was a cow.
It would be like, what? And I'd ask her in French, I'd ask her in English.
Okay.
And it'd be like, what does a horse make? Moo. What does a cow make? Moo. What does a chicken make? Moo. Like, everything was moo.
Well, she made a sound with it.
Yeah, she understood the question, but just couldn't differentiate the animals I was asking about. But she also really likes... Oh, I just lost my train of thought.
That's all right.
She really likes animals.
That's probably why she likes the cat, though, too, because that's a live stuffed animal, and the rest of them I can manipulate, right?
Yeah. She really likes water. Like,
she
loves bath time, which I think we're really lucky or blessed that she likes bath time, because not all kids do.
Yeah.
But she just will fill up the bathtub and she'll sit there and splash. And we have glass things, so we close them.
So she can make a mess.
She can.
You need a kiddie pool this summer if you don't already have one.
Yeah. Well, we're next to a nice public pool, so.
Oh, is that the Middlesex pool?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's an awesome pool.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you too. Obviously, right? You date Connor. You get engaged, get married, right? And it's just you and he for a while.
Yeah.
Now this baby gets introduced, and now another baby's getting introduced.
Yeah.
What in all of this, right? You guys you guys date, you get engaged, you get married, and then it's just the two of you guys, and then Bernadette comes along, which is wonderful, right?
Yeah.
So life just gets busy. Your focus is different places.
Yeah.
But what's been your relationship like with Connor?
Yeah. It's good. It's always been good. Right now, because of the pregnancy, I've been so tired.
Yeah.
Like, I get home from school, I take in half. We take care of Bernadette, eat dinner, and then I go to sleep at like this is way past my bedtime right now.
All right, well, we won't keep you too late. Yeah.
I did nap for an hour and a half today, so I'm good for a while. But so it's been hard just because we haven't really. Normally we put her to bed around 7 and then do something after that, like play a board. We really like board games or read together, or we don't watch a ton of TV, but we sometimes do that too. But I mean, before that, we really tried to prioritize date nights. So we would go like 1 or 2 times a month to do something, whether it's food or an event out.
Right.
Or, something to get time alone, just the two of us.
Yeah. Because that's what that's what I was asking, is that we've both heard those stories that when the marriage is all about the children.
Yeah.
And then these parents, there's really nothing between them when the kids are out of the house.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like that's at all an issue.
No.
Because your relationship is a priority.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Karen and I had similar things. We would, when we went away for weekends, had grandparents babysit the kids, go out for date nights, long days, doing things together. And because you can't forget those things.
Yeah.
Because you get so caught up in like being busy and doing all these other things.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing, and you've probably heard this too, is they said the best way to love your kids is for you guys to love each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because then we're talking about her modeling.
Yeah.
So she sees the model in you and Connor. She knows what a good relationship looks like. Not perfect, because none of us are perfect.
Yeah.
But she at least knows.
Yeah.
And then it's only going to get more complicated once you add baby number 2 and hopefully 3 and 4 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, this is good. I think we've hit across a number of topics.
Yeah.
But thank you for
Yeah.
being here. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We'll have you come back. She and I talked about a whole bunch of other topics that we think we would have a lot of fun talking through. We got to work out the details, but we'll have her back. But thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Really
of course.
appreciate it.
I'm happy to do it.
So please like, subscribe, share the videos, and comment. Again, comments are great because we know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, and just let us know or ask questions. If there's more things you want to know about us, ask. So thanks again.